Hello, everybody, and welcome to Verbling. Teacher Ryan here with another class for the next hour. And today we're going to boost our vocabulary, specifically dealing with adjectives, as we have fun describing the activities we see in dramatic photos of sports activities, and sports players, things of that nature. So it's going to be really interesting, I'm sure. I'm excited to hear how you will do describing things. And the way we'll do it is I'll provide you with a document with some adjectives. We'll go over those. Those are some possible ones. But we'll brainstorm too and come up with some of our own as well, ones you already know, and maybe we can find new ways to use them, share them with other students, things like that. So it's going to be a nice opportunity to build on what you know. So here's a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to give a link to my Verbling Facebook page. I'll put it here in the chat box. So what's the advantage of clicking there? Well, if you go there, you can like me on Facebook, and then when I update my class information, I usually type a little post and keep you updated. So then you can plan your attendance at my classes as the weeks go by. Let me give you another link here as well. Just let me look it up here. This is my Verbling teacher page. And what you can do with this link is you'll notice when you go there, you'll see my face, Teacher Ryan, and then you can click the follow button beside that. And that's another way to keep updated with my classes and things. So let's put the link for our documents up in the chat box as well. So this is some of the material that we'll use today for our class. Like I mentioned before, it's not the only thing that we'll do. We'll talk about some of your own vocabulary as well. But while we wait for some students to come on in to our class, maybe we can open up this document and just consider some of the information on there. So here you see, I've got a list of some useful adjectives when we're describing sports. So what we'll do is we'll go through this list together. Also, I've added a few adverbs at the bottom, which are good for describing the activity that you see. How is a person playing? How is he moving? Is he moving quickly? Is he moving slowly? Is the person gracefully moving? So adverbs can be very valuable as well in our class for today. And then sometimes it's hard to know exactly what to say about a photo. So I've got some questions here, typical questions that you could ask yourself that will help you to describe the photo. For example, what about the sport itself? How would you describe it? How is it played? In the photo, there will be a player or sometimes players, plural. So what do they look like? What are they wearing? What type of protective gear do they need? What emotions does it look like they are displaying? So these are the kinds of things you can mention as you discuss a photo. What about this question? How does the photo make you feel? Well, that's a good one too, because sometimes they will be very dramatic and can evoke a feeling from us. If we go back to our list, maybe we look at it and we find that this sport seems exhilarating. So it makes us feel alive to look at that photo. Or maybe it's a violent sport of some sort. So maybe it affects us in another way. So we could talk about that. So this is how the class will go. One at a time, we'll look at different photos and then get a chance to talk about it. But you know, one thing is still missing from the class, and that is some students. So come on in, join the class. If you're a viewer casually viewing, well, come on in and be a participant, and that's how you're really going to benefit, getting to use these new vocabulary words. So once again, I'm Teacher Ryan. I'll be back in just a second. Hey everybody, this is Teacher Ryan. Once again, we're into our time frame for our class this afternoon where we will get to use our powers of observation. And we'll look at some exciting photos, some dramatic photos, maybe even some funny ones, and then give you the opportunity to use your adjectives and descriptive language to talk about them. If we look at the document once again, let's just take a couple of these adjectives. We'll start to go through them together. So here is our first one, and it is challenging. So what does it mean if something is challenging? Well, I have a little definition here for us. So this is something difficult in an interesting way that tests your ability. So sometimes maybe you've played a game of some sort and it was just too easy. Maybe it was made for kids. So it just was not challenging to you, neither physically nor mentally challenging. But other games really do test us a little bit. They test our ability. For example, if you have ever played chess, that's a game that can really test your mental abilities. But then there are other sports which are challenging physically. Maybe motocross racing, or sometimes if you were playing football, that could be physically challenging, running constantly up and down the field. So we might be able to use this adjective challenging today in our class. Another one we have is violent. Now there are sports that are very peaceful, don't involve a lot of aggression, but others would be considered violent or involving strong, damaging force, maybe even destructive power. So you might think about certain sports that involve a lot of physical contact. Sometimes in Canada, where I'm from, hockey is a violent sport. Sometimes it becomes violent. Then there are other things such as boxing and wrestling, which can also be violent in nature. Let's look at a third adjective that we could use as we describe photos, and that is exhilarating. If something is exhilarating, it makes you feel alive or stimulated. So maybe if you've ever been to an amusement park, you've gone on a roller coaster. That can make you feel pretty alive as it goes down and up and loops. So we might say that riding on a roller coaster is an exhilarating experience. And we could say the same thing for a lot of different sports. Some sports are very exhilarating, highly so. Then we have a next word here is brutal. Is a sport brutal? Well, it can be brutal in different ways. Notice there's a couple of different ideas as to how you could use that listed here. We have demanding. So that's when something is kind of related to challenging. It's a brutal sport. It's testing you to the limits of your ability. It can be exhaustingly brutal. But it could also be savage. So someone might feel that a sport like rugby is a brutal sport because it involves a lot of physical contact. So there's a couple of 4 examples of some possible adjectives we could use in describing our photos. So we're still waiting for some students to join us for today's class. Let's take a minute and I'll be back, and then we'll hopefully be able to get started. Talk to you soon. Hello, everybody. This is Teacher Ryan back again. And hey, we have our first student in the class, and it is my good friend Ken. How are you doing today?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you?
Very good, very good. Have you been having a good week so far?
Yes, I went to the beach this weekend. Yeah,
Awesome.
and it was not so hot, so uh, it's not too hot, so it was very comfortable. Yeah,
That's nice. Now, did you have to go a long way to get to the beach?
get a long way.
Was it a long way? Did you have to travel far?
No, I'm living in close to the ocean, so I can go to the beach easily.
Okay, that's fantastic. So, what do you like to do when you get there to the beach?
Just soaking up the sun and swimming a bit and
Okay,
talk at the beach.
very nice. Were you there with your family?
With my friend.
Okay, very good. Did you do some snorkeling? Like, did you take a mask with you and the snorkel?
Yeah, we used to go snorkeling, but today I we go to the kind of usual sand beach.
Okay,
Mhm.
so it's not really a coral area to see a lot of fish and things.
Yeah, because I don't have a snorkeling now, so and and maybe my friend used to swim, but not swimming these days. So maybe snorkeling is a bit dangerous. So for him.
Okay, okay. It's definitely something you have to do with a partner. It's not a good idea to go snorkeling alone. I like to do it too. Around here, where I live in the Dominican Republic, there's lots of nice beaches and coral to go and see.
Mhm.
Um, but you know, last year we went to this area and the water was quite shallow. So I
Mm.
just thought it would be okay if I snorkeled by myself.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, I was like swimming just over
Mhm.
top of some corals when a
Oh
wave came in and
my
kind of
gosh.
smacked me
Okay.
down on it.
Right. Yeah. So rocky area is yeah somewhat dangerous. So
It
yeah.
definitely can be.
Right.
Fortunately, it was okay. I got stitched in the thumb by a
Mm.
sea urchin with,
Hmm.
those black sea urchins
Yeah,
with the
I know. Japanese love it. Love to eat on sushi.
Oh
Actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Well, that sea urchin got to eat some of me instead. So, Ken, we're going to do some work with adjectives today. How's that sound?
Yes, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
All right. Have you got the document link there in the chat box open?
Okay, I'm opening.
And I'll screen share it here. We'll just quickly go through these adjectives and make sure you understand them,
Okay.
and then we can move on to describing some of the photography.
Hmm. Okay, I have opened the link.
Okay. So here you see we've covered a few in the class already. I talked about things which are challenging,
Hmm.
things which are violent, exhilarating,
Hmm.
and brutal. Now, do you have any questions about those four adjectives or how you might use them?
Maybe yeah, it's okay for me.
All right. So let's go down the list a little further.
Hmm.
The next one I have here is dangerous. I'm sure you understand that one. It's pretty
Hmm.
simple.
Oh, yes. Hmm.
And enjoyable,
Hmm.
exciting,
Hmm.
frightening,
Yes.
frustrating. What about that one? Frustrating.
Frustrating. How can I say? If I feel some dilemma or kind of stressful situation, I feel frustrating.
Yes.
I feel frustrated. I
Okay.
frustrating. Yeah.
It's very frustrating, yes. So here's another sort of idea of how you might think about it. It causes you to feel annoyed or impatient.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we feel that a lot at work sometimes if things aren't
Mm-hmm.
going our way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But some sports can feel that way too. It can be a frustrating sport. So
Mm.
maybe that will come up in some of our pictures today.
Okay.
Next we've got healthy.
Yes.
And I suppose you don't have any questions about that.
Mm-hmm. No.
Relaxing,
Mm-hmm.
risky.
Mm-hmm.
What about that one? Have you come across that word before?
Yeah, kind of somewhat dangerous or yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Something that is thrilling.
Mm-hmm.
How might you use that one?
Kind of when I got on a roller coaster, I feel thrilling.
It's
Yeah.
very thrilling, yes.
Mm. It's very
Very
thrilling.
good. If you wanted to say that you felt it, you would say, I felt thrilled.
Ah, thrill. Yeah.
Or I felt the thrill
Mm-hmm.
of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then we have tiring
Mm-hmm.
and unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of related to risky.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you have any other adjectives that you would like to add to this list that you might be able to use when you're talking about sports?
Mm-hmm.
Anything you can think of?
Sports. Exciting.
Okay, we have that one here. Yep, very good.
Yes. Um, Adjective for sports. Mm, mm, Overwhelming.
Overwhelming. Hey, that's a good one. Okay, let me put that in here. Overwhelming. Okay, so what kind of a definition do you think we could give overwhelming?
For example, team won. Oh, it's not adjective. Uh, uh, Overwhelming. Well, overwhelming. Winning.
They were okay. Okay, you mean like when one team is overwhelmed by another team?
Mm.
So that would mean they're overpowered.
Overpowered. Okay.
So it's overpowering. So we might say if say one team scored many goals and the other team scored none, you could say
Mm.
that they were overwhelmed by their competition or they were overpowered by them.
Mm. Right.
Great. Nice one. Okay, others are probably going to come up as we look at the photos. I thought we'd just talk about adverbs for a minute as well. Do you remember
Mm.
how we use an adverb?
Yeah, the verb is run quickly. Yeah, or in this case, adverb is in the end. Uh, Usually, adverb is in the own sentence.
Okay, yeah, it's the difference is the adjective
Mm-hmm.
is usually used, well, it is used to describe a noun. So a
Mm-hmm.
person, place, or thing. We would use an adjective to describe it. But sometimes we're describing emotion,
Mm-hmm.
the verb.
Yeah.
So, for example, like you said, he is running quickly. So the running is the verb,
Mm-hmm.
and then quickly is used to describe how he is running.
Yes.
So that's the basic definition of an adverb. There's some other ways we use them too,
Mm-hmm.
but that's essentially it. And then down here we have some, if you're stuck as to what to say about a specific photo, you
Mm-hmm.
could think about these questions. You know, what describe the sport? What does the player or players look like physically? How are they dressed? What are they wearing? What sort of gear are they using? How does the photo make you feel? That sort of thing.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll get another few students coming in to join us once we get these pictures going, and then you won't have to do all the work, Ken.
Okay.
So let's get started. Let me find your first picture. And here we go. Okay. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. Okay.
Mm.
So anytime you're ready, you can describe it. You
Mhm.
can choose to use some of the adjectives we already have talked about, or you can come up with some other things.
Motors bike, how can I say, race is risky.
All right, very good. Motorcycle, so we would say motorcycle racing is risky. Okay, very good. So why don't you go ahead and just use your imagination and describe what's going on here. How is it? What is happening?
Mm, I think probably the one bike fell and and or the other bike hit the bike this bike, and so that bike fell down, and the tires and the bike crashed the person.
Okay, so there was a collision, we could say, right?
Mm,
So
collision.
this picture involves a collision between two motorcycle racers.
Yes.
So why don't you describe the racers themselves? What sort of clothing do they wear? What color is it? What protective gear do they have?
Yes. One racer which fell down the ground wears yellow kind of, how can I say, bike suit or something, and he wears a helmet, and he wears boots, and maybe he wears a protector on his knees.
Okay, yes, those would be called knee pads.
A knee pad, yeah.
Very good. So when we're talking about a photo like this,
Mm,
generally we would use the present progressive tense.
he's wearing.
Exactly. Very good. So he is wearing a helmet. He is wearing
Mhm,
knee pads.
mhm,
That gives it much more understandability in
mhm,
English.
mhm. Okay.
All right. Any other observations you have about the photo or the bike?
Bike. I think something is jumping of behind the behind him
Right
on
here?
the, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It looks like a piece of the bike is
Yes.
flying off of
Hmm.
the bike. It's become
Yeah.
dislodged.
Hmm.
Very good. Any other comments?
Any other? Mm, the number of bike kind of the bike hit the person
Mhm.
uh, is number 11 bike
Right.
number 11.
Exactly. Good correction. Good self-correction there. Excellent. Okay. Well, that's a good start. Let's try something different. Let's look at another
Mhm.
picture.
Okay.
And let me see. Okay. Here it comes. All right. So,
Hmm.
what do you have to say about this one?
It's a boxing scene, and we're using adjective. Uh, Violent boxing scene.
Okay. Very good. So, what's going on that's violent?
One boxer hit other boxer's face.
Okay.
He's hitting other boxer's face.
Hey, good job, Ken. I
Yeah.
wondered if you'd catch that. Good. He is hitting him in the face.
Mhm.
All right. What sort of emotions does this picture make you feel? Like, what do you think of it?
scary,
Okay, so is there anything on our adjective list we could use?
frightening. It makes,
Exactly.
yeah, it is frightening.
Okay, so why don't you describe the players, the boxers?
Mm, boxers. Mm, eh, they they are fighting brutally. But it's adverb. Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
the brutal fight.
It sure is. Those guys look serious.
Yes.
They kind of look almost like they might be brothers.
Ah, probably
They
could
look
be.
similar to
Yeah.
me, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
But okay, how would you describe them physically?
Physically. Mm. Physically, they are exciting. Maybe
Okay.
adrenaline rush or something.
All right. But think of it this way. For example, if I were to describe this man here, whoops, make it smaller. I should make it bigger. If I was describing this man, I might talk about
Mm.
his physical presence. He's very muscular, for
Mm-hmm.
example.
Mm-hmm.
There's an adjective we could use. Maybe I would talk about his tattoo,
Mm-hmm.
that he has a very ornate or
Mm-hmm.
intricate tattoo. He's wearing protective gloves that are black,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a mustache as well as hair that is long in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, that's sort of what we're going for, to try and look at the person and describe some of the details. You don't have to only use what I provided on the paper.
Oh,
That's sort of
okay.
just a guide. So, but let's try it with a different photo.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. What's your favorite sport, Ken?
Swimming.
Swimming. Okay. Let me see if I've got something here related to that. Yes, I do. Okay. All right. So, go ahead and start your descriptions.
Okay. One swim, no, two swimmers is competing the
Okay.
race, and again adjective. Uh, they uh, they are in a harsh competition,
Very
and
good.
both of them stretch their hand. Uh, hmm? Adjective. Uh, uh, the both hands are long.
Okay, sure. Their arms are long.
Uh, and what else? They're paddling. Mm,
Paddling we usually would
no.
say for something
Mm,
kind of lazy and slow.
yeah. Okay. They are trying to catch. They they are harshly uh, trying to. It's the adverb too. Uh, they uh, uh, they their their form is beautiful. They show the beautiful form of swimming.
Okay, very good. And they have a beautiful form. What would you say if you look at the list on our sheet of adjectives? How would you describe
Mhm.
the nature of the sport?
Mm.
There might be a few different ones you could possibly choose.
It's exciting sport.
Okay, good. What other adjectives do you see there on the list that you might be able to apply here?
It's a enjoyable sport.
Good, enjoyable, exciting, anything else?
Mm. It's a challenging sport.
Excellent, very good. So now why don't you describe one or the other of the swimmers in the picture?
Mhm. In using these words.
Any way you would like to.
Okay. I see the rapid water movement.
Okay. So what do we call that? Is there
Water
a word we
flow.
have for that?
Water flow.
Okay, you could say the water flow, but a word we might use is splash.
Okay, splash.
I see splashing of the water. That's a possibility.
Mhm.
That's good. Keep going.
I see the uh, uh, golden goggles
Goggles.
goggles.
Okay.
Mhm. And black same hat, same cap. I mean.
Swim cap. Yep, that's
Yeah.
right. Swim cap.
Mhm. And uh, blue and bluish and yellowish swimsuits.
Hmm.
And long coastline.
Okay.
Mhm.
Very
And,
good. What about physically? How would you describe the swimmers? What are they like
mhm.
physically?
Mm, uh, and they are challenging their uh, uh, no, it's adverb. And uh, they are in the they have a perfect shape of swimming.
Okay, good. Good. They have perfect bodies for swimming.
Yeah, good swimmer has a long legs and long hands too, because
Very, very good.
they have
Yeah.
such a shape person has the advantage of getting faster in the water. So
Right there. So what
yeah,
would we say about that? If a person has that, is there a word we could say?
hard. Their body is swimming style.
Okay. Here, I was thinking of this word,
Mhm. Stream, streaming,
streamlined. So
streamline. Yeah.
their bodies are streamlined for
Right.
swimming.
Mhm.
Whereas if a person was overweight, perhaps they are not really
Mhm.
able to move quickly through the water, right?
Mhm. Mhm. I see. Mhm.
Okay, good. Very good. Let me see. Okay, you're not going to believe this photo that I have for you. Here it comes.
Oh,
Okay. What is your impression of this photo just as you look at it? What do you think of what you see here?
painful.
There's a good adjective.
Mhm.
So what's happening?
It's bullfighting and driving a bullfighting. Bullfighter. The bulls. Uh, I forgot this word. Part of the body is
His horn?
his horn hit the his important part.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to describe that. Okay, so when a bull uses its horns, we say he is goring someone. Goring.
Glory. Okay.
But usually that's if the horn has like actually gone into the punctured the person, then they have been gored by a bull.
Mhm.
But this man, it looks like he maybe hasn't been gored yet, but he's certainly going to be in pain, like you
Yeah.
said. So why don't you go ahead and just sort of describe how would you describe bullfighting or as a sport? What
Mm.
adjectives would you use?
Bullfighting is a pretty brutal, violent, unfair sport.
Okay. So now why did you pick those ones?
Because it's a kind of a torture for animals.
Okay. What do they do to the animals in bullfighting?
The bullfighters are kind of how can I say? I forgot about stick the bulls
Oh, yes.
by arrows, and the bull cannot ex escape.
Right.
And bullfighter manipulate bull by using red mant, and sometimes this kind of bullfighters also face a risk like this, but
Okay.
usually human bullfighter has more advantages than bull,
Okay.
so that's
Okay.
why it's violent. Because and it's a bull will die in the end, so it's violent and brutal and unfair.
Okay. Very good. So now why don't you start describing the bullfighter in this picture?
He he is in shock. It's not adjective. He it's a shocking picture.
It is shocking. Okay.
Yeah. And what uh, maybe he unpredictable thing. It was an unpredictable thing
Okay.
for him. Yeah.
And how would you describe what he looks like? Like what is he wearing?
Uh,
Things like that.
he's wearing a kind of uniform of bullfighters. It's like tight, tights, tights, like
Yes.
suits. Yeah.
Good. He's wearing a pair of tights. It looks
Mm.
like boots.
Yes.
What color would you say? What color? How would you describe the color?
Blue tights and red boots. And I see some decoration upper side of his body. He wears some traditional decorations. Bullfighters wear
Right.
traditionally decorated. Yeah, bullfighters wear.
Some kind of embroidery in his
Mm.
on the front of his uniform.
Right.
Okay. Very good job. So let's keep going. The more we do this, the more comfortable you're going to become
Mhm.
with using some of these adjectives. Now let's see. Let's try something a little different. Okay, here's a good one. All right, what do we have here?
Oh, it's a snowboard.
Right.
Snowboard. Mm. So uh, the snowboarder is jumping high above the sky,
Mm-hmm. Very
Mm.
good.
and kind of ice is It's adverb. White clouds are in the sky, and white snow is is splashing.
Okay, now in this case, usually we refer to things that are splashing if there are liquids.
Mm-hmm.
So in the case of snow,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't ordinarily say the snow is splashing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of another word you might use instead?
White snow is spreading.
Good. Okay. Yep. Spreading. Maybe you could say it's flying
Flying, yeah. Mm-hmm.
in the air,
Yeah.
or it's being scattered.
Yeah, scatters, yes.
Very good. How does this sport make you feel? As you look at this
Mm-hmm.
picture, how does it make you feel?
It's exciting and thrilling and, and it's fashionable sport nowadays.
It's a fashion. It's popular. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. I remember when I was learning how to ski back in the
Mm-hmm.
1980s,
Mm-hmm.
and snowboarding was just starting to get popular, and they wouldn't even
Mm-hmm.
let people bring them onto the ski slopes.
Mm-hmm.
That's how new they were. They were afraid that the snowboarders would, get in the way of the skiers.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think they're accepted just about everywhere.
I see.
Have you ever
I,
done it?
no, I've just played skating only.
Only skating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. There's
Did you?
no nice Garande here. Garande is English.
Um,
That
what's
place where people skiing.
a ski slope?
Ski slope, yeah.
Or yeah, a ski
Mm.
mountain or something like that.
Mm.
So you don't have any place like that.
Yeah, yeah. If maybe I have to go to uh, north part of Japan, or yeah, to find ski slope, good ski slope.
Okay.
There are some, but the quality of snow is not good.
So what would be the most popular sport in Japan?
Yeah, baseball.
Okay, that makes sense. I think I've
Mm.
seen movies where that was involved with
Mm.
Japanese culture. Same
Probably. Yeah,
same
I
thing
thought.
here in Dominican Republic.
I see. Dominican Republic, yeah, player, yeah, baseball popular, yes. Some
Extremely
player.
so.
Yeah, right.
So
Maybe. Mhm,
I'm just going to give you another document here.
mhm, mhm,
This was from a class I did a while ago.
mhm,
If you pop it open, it's just some helpful adjectives for describing people.
mhm,
So you'll see they're divided into sections. We have words for their general appearance, beautiful, lovely, attractive,
mhm,
ugly, things like
mhm,
that.
mhm,
Then as you go down, they're divided according to types of bodies, overweight, heavy, large, chubby, etc.
mhm,
And then words for being thin.
mhm,
And then here's some that might be useful when we're talking about athletic people, muscular people,
mhm,
fit,
mhm,
strong, in good shape.
mhm,
Some people who are extremely well muscled, you could say they're ripped.
mhm,
And then there's some ways that you could describe faces. So I'll just give you that because it might be helpful as we go through a few more photos. Maybe you'll
mhm.
be able to incorporate some of these ideas
Okay.
as you describe the players.
Mhm,
So let me find your next photo. Okay, here we go.
Mm.
Okay, what do you think?
Maybe I don't know this sports. He's taming the alligator or something.
That's right. I don't know if this really qualifies as a sport or not,
Mm.
but I decided to include it just because it's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
So, what does he appear to be trying to do? You say taming.
Mm. Yeah, taming.
Okay. Do you think he can tame an alligator?
I don't think so.
Seems like a pretty dangerous
Yeah.
activity.
Yes.
So, what are some adjectives that you would use to describe what this guy's doing?
Uh, he, he is doing risky things
Okay, it's risky. Why is it so risky?
because usually alligator attack if he approaches very closely to alligator, alligator will bite him or attack him.
Okay, exactly. Exactly. So he maybe is going to try to grab the alligator possibly by the
Mm.
mouth and hold its mouth shut or
Mm.
something like
I see.
that.
Mhm.
So why don't you describe to me the man in the picture?
Probably he's an alligator buster.
An alligator master?
Buster. Buster. Like Ghostbuster.
Oh, okay. Alligator buster. I like it. All
Because
right.
yes, sometimes I watch the news in Florida, alligator often smack into the ordinary people's pool. In that case,
Okay.
he call people call him they call the alligator buster.
Alligator buster comes in and he jumps in the
Yeah.
water and gets that thing.
Yes.
Okay, another word you could use for him would be, I'll type it in the chat box here,
Mhm.
is a wrangler.
A wrangler. Mhm.
He is an alligator wrangler.
Mhm.
And that's somebody whose job it is to go and collect something that has escaped. For example, snakes. You could
Mhm.
be a snake wrangler.
Mhm.
If you just say a wrangler, usually people think of. So you would be the cowboy, and
Mhm.
you go out with your lasso, your rope, and you go out and you would wrangle or
Mhm. Mhm.
capture the wild
Mhm.
horses.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's also the famous jeans brand name,
Yes, it
Wrangler.
is. You're right. You're right. And it
Oh,
comes from that idea of the Western cowboy, the wrangler.
I see. They
I
wear
guess.
the, uh-huh.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, they wear the jeans and they are working
That's right, because they're
as
very
a Wrangler.
tough.
Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, I
So,
see.
okay, now go ahead and describe specifically what does the guy look like? What is he wearing? Talk about that.
He's wearing cowboy style pants. I mean,
Yes.
on the pants he wearing laser cowboy style something.
Yeah, they are Western chaps.
Chaps. Okay.
So the cowboy would wear those over his pants
Mm-hmm.
when he was riding to keep his pants from wearing out.
Mm, I see.
So what else could you say about him?
He, he has a tattoo, uh, kind of, I don't know, probably nice tattoo for him.
Okay. You like his tattoo?
I don't like it so. Yeah, anyway, he likes it, so for him it's a nice tattoo.
Okay. He thinks it's nice.
Yes, I
Or
think so.
maybe he thinks it's dangerous.
Yeah, kind of a dangerous guy, yeah. Kind of wild guy or something like that. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. He's
Mhm,
a wild man.
mhm.
What has he got here around his neck?
He's wearing a necklace with
Good.
maybe with made of bone or something.
Possibly, yeah. I
Mm.
was wondering if maybe there are some sort of animal claws
Mm.
in
It
his
seems
necklace.
like Native American-ish necklace.
It's true. So he's got the cowboy thing
Mhm.
going and the Native American theme going all at once.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty American. Mm.
Okay, very good. Would you like to see a show like this where a guy was wrestling with an alligator?
I'd like to, you want, what is your correction? Sorry.
Would you like to see a show
Mhm.
where this guy is performing?
Yeah, because at least he didn't kill. He won't kill this alligator. Yeah, it's tolerable to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, very good. Okay, should we move on to a new photo?
Okay.
Let me see what I have for you next. Okay, here's an interesting one. All right. So, what do you make of this photo?
Mm. Uh, it's challenging,
Okay.
challenging sport.
Well, what is the sport? What is he doing?
Maybe they climb up the icy rocky mountain
Hmm.
or a cliff.
That's right. Very good. Ice climbing.
Ice climbing. Okay.
So, have a look at how would first of all, how would you describe the scene here? What do you
Mm,
see?
mm, could it could be a thrilling sport.
I think so. Yes.
Mm,
And do you see any specific type of specialized equipment that they need to use?
ice pick? I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Ice
right.
pick.
He's got the two ice picks, but if maybe it's hard for you to see in the smaller photo,
Mhm.
let me give you the link to this to the photo in large.
Okay.
Maybe that will help. And then just have a close look at what the man's wearing.
Okay. He's wearing a red shirt and red kind of glove, and he wears black pants, and he wears shoes and on spiky shoes. He's wearing spiky shoes.
Very good. So we might call those cleats, ice cleats.
Ice cleats.
Let me put that in the chat box here, cleats.
Mm-hmm.
So we use that word for a variety of sports. For example, when they're playing football or soccer,
Mm-hmm.
they have running shoes with little bumps on the bottom. Those are called cleats.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, they use cleats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even golfing, they have little
Yes.
cleats on the bottoms of their
Yes.
shoes.
Yes.
So that's very good. Okay. Any other observations about this photo?
Mm. His body is tied up with the rope, and uh, for the safety rope, probably.
Okay. Very good.
And he is wearing helmet
He's wearing a
and
helmet.
wearing a helmet, and it seems a person at the bottom is controlling the length of rope, safety rope.
Okay, so you think the two of them, they're working together? Whoops.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
working together. One climbs up and
Mhm.
then finds safety, and
Mhm.
then perhaps he helps the other one to climb up.
Yes.
So they maybe take turns.
Mm. And maybe one more person uh, took this picture.
Okay, very good. So that seem like some kind of sport that you'd ever like to try?
Swimming. Among these, swimming.
You're going to stick with swimming. You don't want to try ice climbing.
Yeah, it's require a lot of stamina and endurance.
Okay. Well, let's do one more picture with the time we have.
Okay.
And here we go. Hang on now. I've just got to find the right shot. All right, here's one. Okay.
Mhm.
So you
Mhm.
should be able to use some adjectives for this shot that we haven't used yet.
Mhm. Okay. His form is, as far as I know, he's he shows a wrong form of golf.
He's got bad form.
Yeah, bad form. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He's
So,
okay.
no,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Because I learned the one hand should be straight, but he bent both hands, so it's not a good form.
Oh, that's a good observation, Ken. I didn't even notice that. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
But what
because
about the sport of golf itself? Is there any specific adjectives from our list that you think you would apply to this particular sport?
okay, golf is enjoyable sport and sometimes frustrating.
Okay,
Yeah.
could be. Could be, especially if you're in a sand trap.
Yes. Uh, what is on the chart you among the charts words you get it.
Anything? Yeah, if you would like to, sure.
And relaxing sports compared with other hard sports.
So it's a relaxing sport. Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
I agree. Have
Mm.
you've done some golfing, it sounds like.
Because I used to work at a golf driving range, uh, kind of. That was my part-time job, so I
Okay, so
know some knowledge of golf, but I'm not a good golfer actually.
but you know a good golfing form when you see it. And this guy,
Yeah, because I saw a lot of persons golf form or golf lesson during that golf range. And I mean, at that golf range.
okay, very good. So that's all of our time for today. But that was I'm glad you came to the class. It was just you and me, but it gave you a chance to really get to use some adjectives, some new adjectives today. I hope you found that beneficial.
Yeah, it's very beneficial. Thank you very much.
I have a class tomorrow coming up where
Mhm.
we are going to watch a video about the art of persuasion. And
Mhm.
there are six different points that people can use to persuade you or convince you to do something.
Mhm.
And so what we'll do is we'll watch this video in
Mhm.
sections, and then I'll ask questions about it. So if you're available, I hope you can join me for that class. I think
Okay.
you'll really like it. It's a very,
Yeah.
very interesting video.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great day, Ken. Take care.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.